All right, welcome guys. So today's video is going to be all about monk mode. I'm going to be talking about monk mode, um, what it is essentially, why it's so important, why it's so effective, and then I'm going to teach you how to create your own monk mode because I know that everyone's monk mode should look differently because everybody's goals are different. And so if I were to sit here and preach my specific monk mode to you guys, I wouldn't be helping you as much as I possibly could, simply because my monk mode is specific to me. And so instead, I'm just going to sit here and teach you guys how to make your own specific to you. And that will be the most effective in creating results for you in your life. So I know for a fact you've heard the term monk mode going around. I know you've seen it on YouTube. Iman Gaji was one of the first people to really talk about it. But he himself even said that this has been something that's been around for a very long time. It's essentially just immersing yourself fully into whatever goals or whatever work you have at that time, and removing all distractions and all outside sources of stimulation and anything that would grab your attention. Removing these things and keeping your attention and your focus and your energy directed onto a specific or a specific goal and work task. So this is meant to be a full period of full immersion rather. And what this means is you are removing all distractions. You are removing anything comfortable that essentially doesn't help you progress towards your goals, but provides a sense of relief or comfort. We're going to remove all of these things from our life, leaving us with only the work in front of us, making it easier and more likely that we get this work done, and also making us more effective in doing our work because we are dialed in, we are more focused on the work. So why it's so effective is because of the combination of intense focus and consistency. So when you're doing monk mode, you would typically choose an extended period of time to do it for. So my next one that I'm about to do is going to be 60 days. You can do 90 days. From what I've seen, people don't recommend anything above 90 days, but I see myself going for 6-month long periods in the future, depending on the goals that I have, just because certain goals might take more time. So you should give yourself that proper amount of time. And you can also do it for as short as 2 weeks and even 30 days, a month. So these can be very short bursts of productivity, or these can be very extended sessions of work directed towards a specific bigger goal. So it can really be used for many different things. So you can use it for a small goal, like a fitness goal, or you can use it for a big goal, like your big business goals. But it's effective because you are combining consistency with focus. So because you are completely and utterly focused on one thing, and that's the structure, the routine that you've created, and the goals that you have, and you have removed other distractions and outside sources of stimulation, now you're able to actually fully dial in on the work, giving you the ability to work faster, giving you the ability to create better quality work because more of your attention is directed towards that work. And then it also gives you the ability to get a lot done very fast, because as soon as you're done with one work task, there's not going to be something there to comfort you. And so it's more likely that you're just going to jump right into the next thing and right into the next thing. And you do this over and over and over again for your 30 days, your 90 days, whatever. More likely than not, you will see that you've achieved your goal and then some because of the intensity of your focus. And after a certain period of time, you almost desire the work more than anything else, because right now the only reason you desire comfort is because that's what you get your dopamine from. When you have removed distractions and gone fully into a monk mode protocol, your dopamine is only going to be associated with that monk mode and achieving those habits and achieving the goals that you have set. So you're going to be more motivated to do it, and you're going to have more pleasure and joy in doing the work and then creating rather than consuming. So quickly, I'm going to talk about the pillars of monk mode. So when you create your own protocol, these are the 5 things that I think you should have in your monk mode structure. So the first one is going to be health and fitness. Always the most important. Health and fitness is not just physical, it's going to be your mental health as well. So you want to include some protocol that will make sure that you are exercising regularly, that will ensure that you are doing some sort of recovery. So like yoga or stretching. You want to include both. So strength training, resistance training, and exercise, other forms of exercise like cardio and sports. And you want to combine those with some form of recovery as well. I like to do static stretching at the end of the day or a yoga session, and I also usually start the day with dynamic stretches. So physical health in particular is so important because it is going to directly boost your brain's ability to work productively and your brain's level of clarity and the energy that your brain can output, because a healthy body is a healthy mind. And so building up your body will just help you be more productive when you are sitting down and doing your focused work. The other side of that pillar would be mental health. So if you're struggling with mental health, I would recommend a combination of journaling or gratitude journaling if it's really that bad. Or if it's not that bad, but you just feel like something's missing or you're lacking something in life, it's more likely than not that you aren't living up to your potential, or you aren't doing as much as you could be doing or as much as you're fully capable of doing. And so you kind of just feel this low level of depression as a result of just being slightly under your potential. So working harder in a monk mode will help you with this. But if your mental health is really bad, I would recommend gratitude journaling, and regular journaling will just help you get thoughts onto paper. So the next thing is going to be your diet. Diet is going to be one of the most important things, if not the most important thing in your monk mode. If you don't have a proper diet and you don't have a proper eating structure, a lot can happen because if you're eating the wrong foods, your brain will be slowed down because 97% of your brain is in your gut. So most of your serotonin and dopamine production is in the gut, and a lot of your brain is actually in your gut and your stomach lining. So when you are eating bad foods, you are directly putting whatever chemicals are in that food into your brain, and obviously that's going to slow you down and fuck you up in all sorts of ways, depending on what you're eating. But on top of that, when it comes to productivity, eating the right foods for the same reason is essential. Because if you are eating the right kinds of food, your brain will be clear and focused, and you will feel happier throughout the day doing work. When you are slow and sluggish, it feels hard to do work. But when you feel light and energetic, work feels good. So diet is going to be a huge piece and a huge role, and it's going to play a huge role in how much you're able to accomplish in your monk mode. So there's a lot of different diets out there. So the monk mode, I'm going into a monk mode in 3 days, I believe 4 days. I'm starting my next monk mode. And for this one, I've decided on a diet of 35% vegetables, 35% fruits, 20% meat, and 10% carbs, like rice, grains like that, and potatoes. So very small amount of carbs and very specific types of carbs, and mostly vegetables and fruit, and then a little bit of protein as well. But other people have recommended carnivore diet for fitness. From what I've seen, eating alkaline or vegan, so eating only fruits and vegetables, really helps with mental productivity and output, and mental clarity as well. So do your research on your own, figure this out yourself, specific to what you need and your goals are, but pick a diet that will assist you the most. Pick a diet that is specific to your goals, and just stick to it. Just, trust the diet, stick to it. I've set plenty of diets in the past, but just kind of gotten bored of them and fallen off. And I notice the switch instantly when I am eating healthy, and then all of a sudden I stop. My productivity goes down and I start to feel more sluggish, as well as the crash that I usually get after school, so around 2 to 3 o'clock. I don't get that crash when I'm eating the right kinds of food in the morning. But then I notice if I eat, for example, heavier meals earlier in the day, then I get that crash. So diet's going to be huge. Again, just look into it, feel it out yourself, do whatever is best for you, but just make sure you're eating a healthy diet. And the only thing I recommend is eat real food. Don't eat the book Food Rules by Michael Pollan calls it edible food-like substances. Don't eat anything that is a fake version of real food. So essentially just eat whole foods, eat actual single ingredient foods. But yeah, the next big pillar is going to be your objective or your goal. And this one is probably the biggest, diet coming second. So your objective or your goal for your monk mode, the reason you are going into monk mode, what you are looking to achieve by the end of this monk mode, that's going to be your most important piece, because it is the foundation to the rest of your monk mode. You cannot really create any of the structure without having a clear objective set, because the structure is based on you getting from point A to point B. So if you don't know what point B is, you won't know where to go. But as soon as you have clearly defined point B, now you are going to be able to easily structure your day in a way that will help you get there. So having a clear objective and a clear goal, mine is financially related, but it can really be anything, right? So it's, why are you going into monk mode? Why are you committing to this protocol? Why are you committing to removing distractions from your life and dialing in on the work that you have to do? What is it that you're trying to achieve by doing that work? So the next pillar will be mindfulness. So you need to incorporate some form of mindfulness practice, meditation being the easiest, but prayer, if you're religious, is great. Breath work can even do this as well, if you prefer more active types of meditations. But mindfulness is just going to be important for maintaining mental clarity, for de-stressing, because you no longer have your relaxing habits to go back to after you have worked hard. So you're going to need some form of de-stressor, some habit to decompress after the work is done. And meditation is perfect for this. It will help you decompress, de-stress, relieve the tension in your body, and then relieve the weight and the heaviness in your mind. It will kind of help you clear all of the bullshit. So that will be important in maintaining your ability to keep going at the work in monk mode, because you don't really have real breaks, because you're going every single day. You only have the breaks that you allow within your schedule. And so mindfulness and meditation will be the best practice for these breaks, because it will de-stress you, decompress you, and put you in a state where you will be ready and focused for the next bout of work that you have to do. So the last one, this pillar is under-recognized in my opinion, but learning. Learning has got to be an essential practice for everybody in every stage of life. So I don't care how successful you are, there's no reason why you shouldn't incorporate learning into your day and into your structure. So I like books, but podcasts are also great. I just prefer, if you're going to watch videos, long form content, and make sure you have notes. If you don't have notes with you, it's usually more often than not, you're just consuming content. So I would remove just watching videos, and if you intend to watch a video, take notes on it. And so this will be just helping you learn new things as you're going. So after the work day is done, after the work portion of my day is over, I like to meditate, and then I like to do a little bit of reading, or I'll watch a video or a podcast and I'll take some notes. And then I'll probably pick up a few things that I can use, and I'll go kind of work on those throughout the rest of the day. But learning is just going to help you continue to grow, continue to take in more information, and that will help you in continuing to better and perfect your own monk mode structure. So now I'm going to talk about how to actually create one. So the first thing you got to do, get out a piece of paper, get out a notebook. I usually do it on my phone now, but I like to write it down first and then I'll do it on my phone. But get out a piece of paper and I'll pull mine up just to help you guys. So first thing you're going to do, just write at the top quickly. I'll show you mine, but just write, you can write whatever you want. You don't have to call it monk mode. I just call it monk mode because I haven't come up with something better. But just write your monk mode 2024 at the top. Write your date. So the date that you're going to be doing it. So my next one, when I redo it, will be April 1st until May 31st. So you set your dates. You got that all taken care of. Now, create your objectives. So decide and define what your goals are. So for me, I'm not going to say the exact goal, but I have a certain number of subscribers I want to hit on YouTube, and I have a certain number of revenue that I'd like to be making from another one of my businesses. And so these two goals are the only two that I have to focus on for monk mode. And then now that I have my goals, it'll be easy for me to create my non-negotiables. So the non-negotiables are going to be the daily habits that you have to do every single day. So for me, my non-negotiables used to be my like regular daily habits. Now my non-negotiables are simply to upload once a day, upload twice a day to TikTok, and then do my training. Do whatever training I have for the day. So I've split up my training so that I'm doing plyo 3 days a week and I'm doing resistance training 4 days a week. So those are my non-negotiables. Everything else is just my timetable, my habits, and that is also here. So after you've created your non-negotiables, these are the things that have to get done every single day. Now you just create a list of habits. So I have like my morning routine, my 6 a.m. wake up, my journaling, my meditation, all of the things that I do throughout the day. Those are listed as habits, and they're essentially bullet points that I can check off throughout the day. I haven't checked any of these off because this current monk mode is over. But after you've done the non-negotiables, now you can create your actual habits and incorporate the non-negotiables into your habits list as well. But obviously you're going to have more regular daily habits than just your non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are specifically just what has to get done every single day. So for me, it's the work for my business, and then it's my training. And then also another non-negotiable and an essential for monk mode is removing all forms of drugs and alcohol, not scrolling and not mindlessly consuming social media, and just removing these kinds of easy dopamine activities because these are all just distractions. Real life, the real game, the real entertainment is right here, is actually creating your own monk mode or your own daily structure and your own protocol, and then going and working and achieving that goal that you have. That's the only form of entertainment that we really have here. Everything else is a distraction. So now you have your non-negotiables. You have your daily habits as well. Now create a timetable out of these daily habits. So take your habits that you've now set up and create a timetable. So 6 a.m. I wake up, and then I put my morning routine right under waking up. And then 7 o'clock, I usually eat my breakfast. I'll have my supplements or take my supplements and stuff, and then I'll go to work after that, or I'll go to school if I have school that day, right? So then I have 7 o'clock, I go to school. You get the point. My timetable is right here on my home screen. So you can see that. So you basically just structure every hour of the day when you're going to be doing each thing that you have to be doing throughout the day. And I like to structure blocks. So I like to have work blocks or training blocks, and then blocks of rest in between, which is usually just meditation, and then some form of like contemplation or journaling, just to reflect on what I did and then help me in the next thing that I have to do. So you create your timetable. So every hour of the day or every few hours, you have your task that you should be doing at this time. And you have this from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep. So once you've created your timetable and you've created your goals, and you have everything else set up, now it is simply time to execute. So for me, I like to take a day or two before I start. So I'm going to be working on creating my next monk mode over the course of the next 2 days. And then I'll have about 2 days before I start. So I'll have these 2 days, which is kind of just, I'll probably be doing work and doing the monk mode in those 2 days, just because that's all I really have to do. But I'm not strictly on the monk mode yet, and I'm actually more focused on setting up for monk mode. So I'm focused on how can I set myself up to be successful in this monk mode. So one thing I always do before I start is I deep clean my room. I think that should be a non-negotiable or an essential piece. I didn't put it in here just because I didn't think of it, but I always clean my room right before I start, just because it kind of helps me just kind of clear out the space. It feels like I'm cleaning out my room and clearing out my space, and it helps me free up some mental real estate to get ready, as well as removing all of the distractions and making everything easy to get started. It just means that the only resistance that you have the day that you start monk mode is doing monk mode, and that in and of itself will make it easy to actually initiate the process. Whereas if you have a bunch of resistance, it's going to be hard to get into it. And if you don't really get into it, it's going to be very, very difficult to do anything with it, just because you have to be fully in it in order for it to work. So I like to get all of that stuff out of the way before I start. But yeah, once you have prepared yourself and the day of comes and you wake up in the morning to do your morning routine and then your work, you just do it, and you just stay consistent. And as you go, you kind of just reflect. So the first 3 days I go and I just do it, and it's hard because this isn't my normal routine. But then after about 3 to 4 days, it'll start to get easier. But in those first few days, I like to reflect after every point in the day, just to kind of make sure that my day is flowing as it should and I'm achieving what I need to do while not draining my energy too quickly. Because if I have too much in the morning and then I don't have any energy in the afternoon as a result, I would want to switch some things up so that I can stay consistent throughout the entire day, rather than just have a big work block and then crash out in the afternoon. So when you're executing on it, just keep going, keep pushing yourself. When you feel the resistance come up and your mind trying to talk you out of it, this is when mindfulness comes in. You basically have to be able to quiet the mind and just be in the present moment, and just keep following the timetable as you should. So if you missed the entire morning the first day and it's 4 o'clock and you haven't done anything for monk mode, do whatever you have written down for 4 o'clock, go to sleep and try again the next day, because that will be your best way to continue to jump back on the horse anytime you do fall off. But if you get overwhelmed because you think you have to do everything, but you already missed half the day, you're more likely than not just going to quit because it's too much, it's too complicated. But if you just say, all right, I missed the first half of the day, whatever, what do I have to do right now then? Look at the timetable and be like, oh, right now I can be reading, and go pick up a book and read, just because that will be a repetition towards you doing the structure. So then when you wake up the next morning, it'll be easier to do it. And then also just reflecting on it, making sure it actually works for you and that it's actually effective. And then, yeah, just continuing to push through until the very end and you've achieved your goal, or you haven't achieved your goal. And in which case I would take a week to reflect and then go back into monk mode and go hard on that goal once again. So just a couple extra tips to make it easier for you while you're in monk mode. First thing is going to be, have a way to track your progress. So like I have a specific number of money that I want to make, so it's very easy for me to track that. And same with subscribers, it's very easy for me to track how much progress I'm making week by week, month by month, because it's a number on my screen that I can see. But if you have a goal that isn't financially related, isn't business related, have a way to track your progress. So like if it's a fitness goal, track your workouts, track how much you're lifting and your reps. So I do this with all of my workouts. In fact, I can show you that too. So I do this with all of my workouts, but I track the entire workout. So I have all of the exercises that I have to do, and I have these preset on another notes app or notes page. So I copy and paste the workout every day, and then I just fill in the numbers. So every time I lift, I fill in the weight, and then I fill in the reps. So tracking your progress in the gym will just help you to see where you're at, help you to see how far you've come, and that will help you to adjust as you go to ensure that you actually achieve the goal by the end of monk mode. As well as it just keeps you motivated to see that you're making progress. So the next thing is staying consistent on monk mode is going to be essential. If you aren't consistent, you completely defeat the entire purpose of monk mode. Because as we said before, the reason why monk mode is so effective is because it's consistent for a long period of time, as well as the intensity of your focus while you're on it ensures that you achieve the goal faster because you are putting all of your effort into that thing and you are doing that for an extended period of time. But if you lose the consistency part of monk mode, you essentially lose the power that it has in the fact that when you aren't consistent, and you may only miss a few days a week, but if you aren't consistently hitting the goals, you will just slowly start to slow the amount of output that you have. Whereas the opposite happens when you hit every single day. Over time, the intensity of your output increases. And that's the power of monk mode, is that as you get into it, the intensity of your focus increases because of how long you've spent only dialed in and only focused on and only giving attention to this one thing. So the next thing is building the habits. So once you have created your non-negotiables and your structure, making monk mode a habit. So I like to think of it as my entire day is now simply a habit. When monk mode is a habit, it becomes easy and it becomes effortless. And this is a very powerful state to be in because you're no longer giving any you're not giving extra energy to actually what you have to do, and all of your mental energy can go on and focus on the production itself, because every day you're used to, this is what I do at this time, this is what I do at this time, this is what I do at this time. So all of your energy is going to be focused on right now the work you're doing and putting it into that specific project. So when you've made monk mode into a habit, it relieves some of your mental energy and allows you to focus all of that onto the goal. So the last tip is just going to be clearing out any distractions. So the reason why this is so important is for the same reason as building habits. So when you can take your mental energy and your attention off of the distracting habits like social media, or it could be drugs and alcohol, it could be distracting friends, right? When you take your attention off of these things, now you're able to direct that attention onto your goals. And again, just like with the last example, this is just going to allow you to put yourself on the fast lane to achieving those goals because you're dialed in and you're focused and all of your energy is going towards that goal now. All right. So that's all I had for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you gained some valuable knowledge. And go try it for yourself. So the beauty of monk mode is it is unique to everybody. So you will see the exact progress that you need to see if you go and try it for yourself. But listening to me talk isn't really going to help you unless you implement and do what I was talking about. So go ahead, go create yours, right? Pick your dates, pick your goal, and then create your structure. and then commit to it. Commit to doing the work for the entirety of the period of time that you set for yourself. I would suggest start with a shorter period of time. Start with like 2 weeks. Try to go in for like a 2-week period. See how you feel after those 2 weeks, and then do it again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.